Oh my god, I can hear his fucking hand move.
Okay, so, welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. Let me introduce Mr. BoomerRex himself.
Yeah, it's part of my personality. I can't let you have that 10 seconds of silence. Sorry.
And
But he's not willing to be the
asshole.
one who throws a rock through the stained glass window. He's like, nitwit, go do a thing. And I'm like, all right, boss.
And I am RisenLadyHeathen. So you wanted to talk about dumbass wearing a thong on the plane?
Oh, that's all I have. He got thrown off a plane for wearing a thong as a face mask.
Don't wear thongs as face masks, dum-dums.
Look, I think it was a mistake for us to say the Gators don't count, even though the Gators don't count. Masks are hugely effective, and the maybe 10% of people who are simply not going to, right? They're going to fuck around and play games and wear gaiters and thongs, and who cares?
What's a gator?
The little neck sleeves.
Next thing.
Oh yeah, those ones actually make it worse.
Yeah, which is the only argument I can find for saying that doesn't count as one, as opposed to, like, look, as long as you pretend to, like, obey the rules, I'll pretend I enforced them, and germs aren't that badass. Like, this is not the plague to worry about that.
No.
So,
All right. So, yeah, no, totally. Let's dig right in here. Maga's Bonnie and Clyde. Tell me about them. I want to hear.
which ones are these? 'Cause I've heard that name before, and I haven't seen who we stuck it on.
We have a loud fan over there.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Sorry, forgot to turn off my beat.
So anyway,
Production records just.
Yeah. Now, while I
the
check to see
production
if their
values
phones
just
on
went to hell
silent.
in it. Yeah. So anyway,
That's what
No,
happens when you
right.
overwork your one producer.
you get 4 years of Trump, and he has these, sycophantic followers who think he's doing something for them, and
Yes.
they have never.
But
What do we think he does for them?
he does unto others as they would do.
Oh yeah, no, I
Fine.
mean he's viciously cruel to the folks they want to be
They
cruel
don't
to.
believe the other exists anymore, and they just want
Okay.
someone to make it so the cruel stops happening to them. When
Or
it
obviously
won't,
happens to
because
somebody
Cumberland
else.
Farms and
Yeah.
Bank of America aren't going to leave your tiny rural town until they've sucked the last drop of essence out of the last living thing.
Yep.
So anyway, so here are the Maga, Bonnie and Clyde, Dustin Stockton and Jennifer Lawrence. So they're MAGA personalities, right? They're the ones who are setting up rallies and stuff, and so now they're a little bit bent that Trump only pardoned Bannon,
Ah, yes.
right? Didn't pardon the military
No.
vet who was the other half of the build the wall scam and the anyway.
Bannon knows secrets Trump wants kept.
Yeah.
Well, and Steve Bannon might be able to do something for Trump, and you never
yeah,
know.
Trump never does anything for anybody unless he feels it will benefit him in some manner. End of discussion.
Right.
That's the thing I wish someone would have ever pointed out is because every time like Melania and Trump would go somewhere and Melania wouldn't smile or she'd stop smiling when he looked away. And they're like, oh, that's not good. And like, only if he gives a shit. That's one of those things that only works if he cares
Right.
at all. And I don't think he does.
He doesn't.
No,
So
I think
anyway.
he's completely oblivious to all of it.
Yeah, no, I think except for now, Melania may have overheard some stuff. Right, he was going to trade her in for a newer model.
Eh?
Right, Hugh Hefner did it for however long, and we pretend that's somehow not.
What is Melania? His second or third
Third.
wife? Yeah,
Third.
I was pretty sure at least third. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry, you were saying.
No, here is a man who is utterly.
Justice is money based in America, you say? Like it's some sort of capitalistic
You
system.
think? It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
We've got to get you to play BioShock Infinite. It's the worst capitalist society. We got a whole Sky City though.
Yeah. So here you've got you have a man who is absolutely, utterly focused on himself and nothing else.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the only thing he cares about is what's good for him or makes him look good or whatever.
Yeah, or protects him.
Right. And so it's taken these folks who were kind of on the inside this long to figure that out. How stupid can you be? And they said, we had some warning signs along the way, but we made excuses for him. You're a fool.
Aye.
I just dumb as a box of rocks. How could you not look at him and know that?
I don't know their story, and I don't feel like making up a story. Like I can do so much easier with give me a randomly selected kid at the Capitol.
Yep.
I'll tell you how America betrayed them.
Oh yeah.
How America
Absolutely.
decided it was better to make money on their suffering, because now you can totally go to ITT Tech, man. They'll charge you a Harvard education for nobody is confused that ITT is Harvard.
Yeah.
Or University of Phoenix, or pick 'em. They exist everywhere. Some huge fraction of Congress has interest in payday loans because, that's
It's profitable.
guaranteed money.
Yeah.
And so is heroin and murder, but
Yeah.
they're just not willing to roll those dice yet, I guess.
Oh no, I expect that money comes to them through back doors.
Sign up for our Patreon I don't want to.
We don't have a Patreon yet. We're
I
working on it.
I didn't want to make
slowly-
a Patreon for murder or heroin. So
I am slowly spreading us out. We're on a bunch of new different podcast sites. I've signed us up for so much stuff. I'll have an entire list of every place you can find our podcast once I get approved for all of them.
So remember, like, comment, subscribe. This is my cat, me giving you my cat's permission from my cat to go on anyone's device you can get physical access to, and just sign them up for it.
On every podcast service they own.
Yeah.
We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Apple Cast. We're on.
Yeah.
We're trying to get on Google right now. but that
iTunes,
takes a few
Podbeans,
days.
or wherever you find your
We're on,
podcast.
yeah.
iHeartRadio. We're on loads of stuff.
Yeah, no, and I'll have the
Cool.
entire
Yeah.
list within the next week or so because some of these it takes a while. To
She
sign
tells
up
me
for.
these things when I'm walking through a room, and I'm all thinking about like, ooh, Far Cry 4. I'm gonna pet the shit out of that tiger.
Yeah.
This is what I spend all my free time doing. Legitimately, is watching videos and
Yeah.
figuring out how to.
This
how
is
to-
why you can't have an aquarium.
This is why I can't have anything. This is my
Yeah.
life now.
Well, think of it as an aquarium and everything's good.
I actually do think that people can donate to us through our podcast on Podbean. So I'll have to check. I'll have to double check
Okay.
that. But we might be able to get donations.
Because lots of people have been asking us how to give us money. They have, internet. Shut up.
Yep.
Oh, I've been getting private
Absolutely.
messages
No,
from
I
all kinds of people around
fuck
the
these
world.
people for sure because they sound like they drive nice cars and have good shoes.
The Bonnie and
But,
Clyde people?
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Not you good people. We love
yeah,
you people.
even if you're a Trumpy, God, if you're a Trumpy, please talk to us. I need a Republican
Yes.
to war game with. I
Yeah.
will I will burnish your like shit garbage policy up. I'm actually good at this. Hit us up.
No, we would love if there were some Republicans or MAGA people that maybe stumble across our show. We would love to talk with you
Yeah.
just to get a better perspective because I know that my perspective on what, you know,
I don't actually
a
think
MAGA
you want to
person is
destroy
a
the
little
fucking
different.
union, but
Um,
some of the people who like explain your policies
Some of
to
your
me
leaders
sound like they
do.
want to.
Yes.
Or at least think it won't matter to them. And
well, and I don't want to have like a debate. Like I don't want to argue
Nah.
point for point
yeah,
with you.
fuck off,
but-
debate bros.
But my point, what I would like to do is just for you to maybe private message me, maybe comment or something. Again, I'm the one that's in charge of all of our accounts, so you'll get me directly. And I would love to just hear your story, right, of why you believe these things or why you follow these things, because it's hard to understand from somebody from a different perspective who says, but these aren't facts.
Well,
right?
and most of the kids
And I know
who
that
are
you-
rolling it hard in a way you can like tell, like, oh yeah, Trump 45 for life. Yeah, I don't want to ask that guy about politics. That
Right.
person's not who's going to give me good answers.
Yeah.
I would just be curious to know your thought process, and,
Yeah.
and I don't. My intent is not to belittle you or anything like that. I will not do that.
Fuck no.
I just think it would be interesting to just ask a couple life questions. You know, where you're at, what you're doing, why
I
you
would
believe
keep you in a
these
tiny
things.
intellectual
and-
garden and cultivate you so I could learn about what it is that you like about these statements.
Yeah, because we
Not a real garden will not actually feed you. Your mileage may vary.
we want to
I'm
know.
sorry,
Pricing
and
and
it's
availability.
unfair, but I'm going to say it anyway. I have pictures of you keeping a spider in a small plastic cage. But yeah,
The only spider I
Yeah.
ever kept lived behind the picture of the Secretary of the Army in the company area.
no.
He was really big. We used to bring him food all the time.
I had a spider that used to live in one of my speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only animal we ever kept in a small plastic cage was that giant hairy desert scorpion.
You're
That
never
was
allowed
the-
to do that while I'm here.
That was
It's
the
not allowed.
angriest. That was the angriest creature I have ever seen.
I
in my
believe
life.
it. He was wild
Hi,
and
my
free in
name's
the
Vestal.
desert, and you put him in
Apparently
a
we
teeny
haven't-
tiny
Hey.
box. Like,
Anyway,
I'm sure he was very unpleased.
God, he was angry.
Okay, so do you have anything else you want to talk about Bonnie and Clyde?
No, I read through that and I go, you know, you appear to be of average intelligence.
He didn't let Spicer meet the Pope. And look, Spicer's a son of a bitch, and I don't care, and I
know,
probably
but
have
that
to be
was
kept from
so
spitting at him.
inappropriate.
But yeah, Spicer, who
I
carried a
don't even
lot
like
of
Spicer,
water,
and I'm like, that poor guy.
and he sacrificed everything I'd have said was good about him if I only saw his like paperwork. Right, he's an Army or a Navy Reserve officer. He's a lot of stuff that, like, okay, he's probably not a total fuck up. Bring him in. And he just burned all of that in the name of the office and the country and...
No, not the country. He burned it in the name of his
Trump.
infant.
The orange man. Infantile?
His infantile.
That America needs to be
fixation.
knocked over 2 or 3 rails, which is going to require a disruption unlike anything we've ever seen. That we currently need a World War II-sized engagement on climate change, cyber warfare, and income inequality.
Okay, let's let him finish his thought.
No, that was just... Here are 2 people of apparently normal intelligence who just apparently stagger through life without ever looking around to say, well, who am I working with? What is this person?
What is my motivation?
No, and my problem is I cannot not see these people as the scumbags that made up the homeless Marine, gave them the last money.
You guys are all missing a very important point here. They're not doing this for anything other than money.
Yeah,
Cold,
that's what I'm
hard
saying.
Cash.
Yeah.
And the power that comes with being Trump's upper echelon.
These are
echelon or whatever
grifters
you
left
call
out
it.
in the middle where there wasn't even enough anger at them to make that into a thing.
Right.
It just fizzled out. Or at least that's what I have to believe, because I've got too much tied up in the poor sons of bitches who've got a closet full of tack gear, and they know America's broken, and they have no idea how to fix it, and they thought maybe this was the way, and some of them are going to spend an appreciable portion of time in jail.
Yep.
Okay.
And they need to. Like,
Yes.
you attacked cops. I have done a lot of fucked up shit in my life. You know what I've never done? I have never hit a cop with a stick.
No, God, no. So you need to tell me about this. Ex-cop voting fraud faux pas?
God.
Tell me
Oh
about
my
this. Oh,
God.
please do. I have to hear
This
about
is one of those, again, every once in a while, you run across one you just have to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And in the back of your mind is, somebody's got to do a mental evaluation, right? I mean, so here's this former police captain, right, who convinces himself that he has found a guy who has 750,000 false ballots in his truck.
Well,
And so
why
he
would they be in his
surveils
truck
him.
now?
Oh, no, this was a while back. This was
okay,
when it would have mattered.
Because his brain
Because the plane from
says
South
they
Korea
are.
landed in Sky Harbor.
Right.
This
and
is that one, right?
what?
This
No.
is, sorry. That's a different one.
Okay, so let him tell us.
Or it comes earlier in the story.
Yeah.
So he surveils this guy for 4 days, right?
He's not even a cop anymore, right?
Not a
Let's just
cop anymore,
clarify this. Okay.
Gets paid, if the reports are right, something like $200,000 to do this surveillance.
This was a dude who was a cop somewhere between 9 and 20 years.
Yeah. So anyway, he'd been conducting this surveillance for 4 days and was convinced the victim had 750,000 fake ballots in his truck. So he rams him from behind, holds him at gunpoint, makes him lie on his face, and puts his knee in the middle of his back till the cops get there.
Man, I'd have checked for ballots first and left if there weren't any.
See, if I was an officer rolling up on this, I'd be like, strong arm robbery right now. That's what's happening. Guns out, like, get away from him. Get away
I
from
am
him.
perfectly okay. In fact, I would be impressed with police if they announced publicly that our policy is if we roll up on a scene of violence, we're going to kill every human with a gun in their hand. We're not even, like, before we even
when
say
you see it
freeze
coming,
police.
You stand up,
You drop your weapon.
you
You
put
lay
your
the
weapon
fuck
on
down.
the ground,
Yeah.
you put your hands up.
Exactly.
Anyway, no, the guy's an air conditioning repairman. There were no ballots in his...
Just a regular
You
old
mean-
guy just doing
Yeah.
his job,
Yeah.
just chilling.
Oh.
And this dude rams his truck or
Yep.
rams his work vehicle
Right. Holds him at gunpoint.
with his knee in his back, which we
Yeah.
know is not appropriate.
Maybe not the thing to do. Yeah.
Not appropriate for people who know what they're doing, let alone a cop who's been off the
Yeah.
force for God knows how long at this point.
And I'm sorry, my whole response to this is, where do you get these maroons? I just...
Don't, no vigilante justice people. Have you not learned? No. No.
I agree. Because I'm looking at it going, look, you think he's got ballots? You roll up, like, you're a man with a gun, and that's the actual justification here. Is I think I can threaten to use more force than they can pull out of their pocket.
You know,
that I'm just going to take control of the situation and like just roll up on him, check him for ballots. If he doesn't have them, fuck off into the darkness. I mean, don't do that,
No,
obviously, but
here
No,
we're
and
back.
you
We're back to a simple plan.
if he
no,
really
it's and that's what makes this so like.
You want to
tragic.
ask this clown first and foremost? Do you have any idea how big 750,000 ballots is?
Yeah, no.
Right. You're not looking for a briefcase.
have you ever
You're
looked
looking
at
for
a
a
stack
pallet.
of paper?
Yeah.
Right?
Now-
And then you're talking like thicker paper than your average paper.
Yeah, well, it's been handled, so it's not going to lie flat either.
But when you get reams for your printer,
Yeah.
those are like usually 150, 200, and it's like that. Okay, we're talking 4 inches.
For 2,000 sheets or something. Yeah.
No, like 200 sheets. And ballot paper's even thicker than that.
Well, yeah, I agree that ballot paper is pretty thick. But again, you're looking for a pallet of paper.
Minimum.
How many grams? Oh, how many pounds is that? If those are grams?
If those are grams, that's 10 kilograms, 22 pounds.
Oh, okay. I'm fucking it up. It's not $1 million in hundreds then. I used to know what a duffel bag full of money cost for like no reason on the internet, and or what it weighed, and no, that again, it's one of those numbers of he doesn't have $700,000. Almost fucking anything. He doesn't have $700,000 Beanie Babies on him. He certainly doesn't have 700,000 ballots on him. Because I was trying to like, okay, so 46,000 votes actually determine this election. You know, let's say it's a legal sheet. Like, no.
Just no.
Yeah.
And besides,
All
the
these
way
things
you
that you
look
should
for
know.
actually rigged elections is hyper turnout in their own areas.
Yeah.
That's actually what you can see, because the thing that everyone else is talking about, the point shaving, you can't see at all. Like,
No, we have.
and that's why we should have paper ballots. We should have 9 other things. Or at least the ability to regenerate them.
I'm fine with paper ballots.
Yeah, there was this big push for electronic for some reason that we're dumb because they're harder to hack. I'm like, are you dumb? Like, I know how to rig paper ballots. Like, I need a long pokey stick. Don't rig ballots, but
No, that's in Florida.
so
And your name has to be Chad.
right? No, but that's this is what pisses me off that about America getting less interested in history, so they're not even attaching their conspiracy theories to reality.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that you run across these things that you look at and go, you can't possibly believe that. If you'd given it a second's thought,
Yeah.
you would have realized it was physically impossible.
Yeah, like again, it was gonna cost $10 billion a day for Obama's travel. 34 warships were going to attend him.
Yeah.
Sure, if you don't know the size of the U.S. surface fleet, that number makes any kind of sense. But no, I thought this was part of Louis Gohmert's lawsuit about the plane that flew from South Korea to Sky Harbor, and then they followed the people back to their houses, and okay. There was nothing to it. It's been debunked in every
Yeah.
possible way because it makes.
Of course.
God damn it! Not even how you do it.
Yeah.
All right. So what
Can't
is
even
this?
make up a decent
Again,
conspiracy.
they wrote a
How
story.
dumb do you have
They
to
wrote a
be that you
conspiracy
can't
where the
even
head
make
of the
up a...
CIA and Delta Force rolled up on someone and told them how it was. And look, she seems kind of cool. Like, I'd love to have a conversation with her about torture because she deleted all those tapes at least. So she's got some mind in what the system thinks the game is.
Yep.
She would actually have an interesting opinion on that. I don't think you'd take her as a door kicker.
No.
Like, her or one more 24-year-old with legs
No,
the size of your
read-
head.
They've read one too many Jack Ryan
I
books.
know.
Oh.
That is the sad thing about Clancy being dead, because at least Clancy's books were well written.
Yeah.
Like the junk popcorn stuff. It's fun. I love it, but
Yeah.
it's like my junk sci-fi. Right? I like it in a way where I'm like, that's fun, but now to go
Yeah.
read something I won't enjoy as much and do
All right.
some mowing.
So this next headline next time. Tell me about that.
Oh, this is just the deeper and deeper and deeper we get into the armed insurrection on the 6th of January, right? We find out that there really were folks who were coordinating, right? There really were conspiracies to obstruct
A
Congress.
lot of them.
There were people who donated money for arms and transportation and so forth,
Oh yeah.
which is aiding and abetting
several
at
different
best,
groups
and
that were directly
probably,
involved in this and
yeah,
the planning
I
and
mean,
such.
I can see that as an accessory before the fact. And so anyway, but they're beginning to charge them, and so they've now got, they're, let's see, 17 members of the Oath Keepers have been charged. A bunch of the
Duolingo,
California Patriots and DC Brigade. And so anyway, as they dig deeper and deeper, and of course the other thing they get is all their text messages and so on. It's really great. So it's just going to be fun to
there
watch.
is no, if the app is easy to download to your phone, it is not secure.
Yeah.
You cannot distribute a cryptographic method in the United States the NSA cannot break. Period. End of line.
Okay. So, did you have any more you wanted to talk about with that?
No.
Okay. So let's move on. We have some quick updates for you. What's going on with the Michigan school shooting?
So anyway, this one's kind of worn out, and we'll drop it unless something super cool happens. So it's now finally reached what is always the final stage, right? The ripples are spreading across the country, and you're getting a surge of poorly defined threats on various different social media
Copycats
channels.
and such,
yeah.
Just like what happened with Columbine. Yeah.
So anyway, it's
The oddest thing is there was this situation wasn't really that bad. Like when you compare it to, say, Columbine.
Yeah.
Or, what happened at
Virginia Tech,
Sandy Hook, Virginia Tech, like.
Because I think that's actually part of the thing. I think one of the mistakes we make when we hear the phrase school shooting is we all picture ourselves in elementary school. When, if I, when I've heard about shooting at university in America, more news later, I'm on my phone or internet figuring out where. And I'm doing the math on my Rolodex going, who's going to school where?
yeah.
Because, I don't really care if you were sitting in your dorm room and got blasted by the freak at the end of the hall.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still unhappy the universe converted my interesting human to mush.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it's the Virginia Tech's the brain you're not going to say high score. That's what the crazy kids are always saying right before they do say. But I think that's at least part of what we aren't willing to talk about is
Was that the one with the kid in the tower?
That's all of them. Oh no, that was the kid who walked through with a couple of Tech 9s, I feel.
No.
No. Kid in the tower, probably talking
At a college
Texas.
somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like who's it in the 70s?
Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago,
Long
but it's
time.
something that gets brought up.
Yeah. I only know him
regularly.
because the Marine Corps is all about talking about their famous shooters. So, and pointing out, like, even if you're a fuck up later in life and you do bad things, they're gonna go, oh, the Marine Corps taught him how to shoot.
No, and we already talked about school shooting numbers. So for
Yeah.
those of you who are concerned, go back, look for our episode on school shooting numbers. In our podcast, it's actually separated into its own. It's part 2 of one of our.
No, but it's my God, we'll fall down and die the first time it happens. Right, the first time there's a grocery store shooting. Actually, no, we had one. We had the Walmart one. Yeah.
Yeah. We've had a couple of Walmart ones.
Yeah, but those, I'm surprised we don't do more about those because wildly more people do grocery shopping daily than went to
Walmart.
school.
Yep.
Like just grocery shopping.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't fucking
so-
do mass shootings. The internet.
Is that all you had to say on this? Just
Right. We'll just move right to climate weirding.
Okay, let's do it.
So again, this
Yeah,
is
how was
one-
everyone's weather last night? Ours was
Yeah.
weird.
Was it?
Yeah, it was rocking like a pirate ship.
Oh, okay. So you had lots of wind and
I don't feel like it was that bad last.
You think
night.
yacht's gonna
It was
rock
worse
that
the
much?
other night.
I feel like Zeppelins may be really stable because they just ride on it. And
Yeah, I
you'd
feel like
notice
you're
it,
probably
though.
less likely to.
Yeah, it's
feel
going to be
it
widely less than
because
than a
you'll
ship.
you'll be in a slipstream and you can drop below it or move. Above
Yeah, but I
it.
mean, it's going to be wildly less than ocean going.
there's a word for balloons. They call them aerostats.
That's true.
They are stationary in the air.
Yeah, it is delightful.
They simply move
Yeah.
with the air.
Yeah.
So
So they're
when the air
delightfully
gets
quiet.
to 75 miles an hour, you're going to be hooking, and you're not going to be going where you want to go.
Meh.
You're going to be going where the air is going.
That's what we have the drones for.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe for drones.
Are we riding the drones away from the doomed blimp?
We can do that too, right? It's not doomed till it's really doomed.
Yeah. No, I think with a blimp, what you would do is take it to an altitude above the trope and out of the jet stream.
Yeah.
Right. You'd have to be pressurized. Fine. No big deal.
Or at least have a pressurized
It's going to be
control
cold.
area.
I don't know how high you can take a blimp. We should look.
Like, comment, subscribe to find out, the internet.
All right,
Right.
so tell us about the climate weirding before we get on
No,
another
this
tangent.
is another one where we're sort of done with this round of superstorms.
Fair.
Unexpected, unpredictably
Okay.
nasty.
That's my thing.
climate.
Because my brain was instantly, did something happen that I missed?
Yeah, no. But the survivors of the leveled candle factory have filed a lawsuit claiming their employer demonstrated flagrant indifference by refusing to allow employees to go home.
Good.
The lawsuit filed in state court accuses the company of violating Kentucky OSHA workplace standards by keeping its staff in a place where they might be injured or killed.
Does class action take them outside the normal
And this are
rules?
the survivors. This aren't yet the families of the deceased.
Oh, I'm
Is
sure
this
the,
like a super
yeah.
fund thing? Does class action take them outside the normal rules in the local area?
Oh, I don't know. Anyway,
Anyway. All right.
they're
So
asking for compensatory and punitive damages.
good. Good. I hope they get every penny. And F this candle factory.
I think we're going to find out the candle factory is done.
Done. Oh,
Yeah.
aggressively done.
No, that actually can't happen.
What?
Supreme Court's ruled that no lawsuit that bankrupts a company can go forward. And in Kentucky...
But wasn't that the whole purpose of
It was.
lawsuits in the first
Yeah.
place, was to get rid of companies that
oh,
have
yeah,
bad practices?
absolutely was. It was.
So I feel like that goes
uh,
against the whole point.
Yes.
The whole, what's the word? The spirit of the law, shall we say.
Yeah, no, that was the 90s. That was what tort reform meant.
Well, and then when did we broke up all the monopolies? How many years ago? We need to do that again.
30s.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, and
Yeah.
it needs to happen again. But anyway, so craziness, just absolute craziness,
Yeah.
and hopefully this company does go.
Turns out Kentucky tort reform isn't as nice as California, so I just be like, nope, it's limited to $500,000 a whack.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know.
No, and that's this whole bullshit about companies are people. Companies are not people. Fuck.
Well, that's one of those things. You're betting that they're not going to spend $500,000 seeking vengeance. That is, I do not want to hand somebody who wants to see me dead more than they want to see a sunrise. Here's all the money you could use to come at me, bro. Don't go at people, bro, the internet. But what the fuck? Like, I don't understand when we thought that was safe. America's history, that's what concerns me. Because I haven't come up with a witty way to say all the things the Nazis say about Jews. I want to say about corporations in a different way, and I really don't like the Nazi reference. So anyway, no, this idea of tort reform, that you really can get people into a position where they think they have nothing to lose, and with America's hard, bedrock of hillbilly pirate, how did you think that was safe?
Yeah.
Like that scene from what's the movie about the crazy who straps himself onto the car, Cape Fear.
Okay.
That's the level of batshit America is.
Okay. I was thinking of Falling Down.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we love those movies. Like, no one else, there is no British equivalent. There's no angry guy who, they fucked up his fish and chips and he just walks through Covershire and does what?
Yeah.
Yells at some seagulls and
Peas in the
spits at a
fountain.
child? Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, we'll help Omicron while we're here.
Yeah.
So up to 32 states. That's as of yesterday, so it's more today.
That's actually probably what my problem is. I'm sorry. I just realized we went shopping today and I'm sitting there and I'm counting every human without a mask in my head.
Yeah.
And
Oh, and all the little kids running around touching
Yeah, tell you
everything. I was like, you
maskless
know what?
children.
I was like, here's my thing. We're talking teenagers, right?
Yeah.
So they're 12 and above for surezies.
Yeah.
No masks on. And they're just touching things. They're putting their face on things. I'm like, you're 12. How? If I was your mom, you would be in so much trouble. right
America
now.
has shot 12-year-old men for less.
So anyway,
Can I just say?
I'm not saying we should. I just wanted
No.
to hey, here's a fun thing for you, the internet.
No, worst thing than ever. Well, not the worst thing, but One of the really bad things that happened to me when I was an employee for Walmart during the fucking pandemic, like the hardcore part of the pandemic, like the one where everyone wasn't allowed
there
to
were
go
no
anywhere.
vaccines.
Everything was
When
shut
everyone
down.
is happily
like,
inside learning how to make bread.
some woman brought her sick child to Walmart and it threw up everywhere.
Yeah.
Don't bring your sick children out with you. I understand it's hard, but right now you can get home delivery. Walmart will deliver to your house.
Look, whoever's at your house is going to molest your sick kid. They're going to molest them anyway. So you
The
might as well
worst
just leave
part
them at home.
is I worked in online pickup.
Yeah.
You didn't even need to enter the fucking store. So you don't need a babysitter. The night before, you go online,
You could go back
you
to
get
that
all the stuff you want.
for a while.
You get all the stuff you want. You put it in your cart. The next day you pull up between your allotted hour, right? So if your hour's between 2 and 3, you show up between 2 and 3. You hit the button, say I'm here, parked in spot, whatever for pickup. They bring it out to you. That was my job. That's what I did. I did it for you, and you idiots still brought your kids in the store.
Yeah.
Fuck off. That's what I'm saying.
And couldn't tell she was a woman.
Oh God, no! They always called me sir every day.
Well, good.
I got the biggest boobs in the world.
Yep.
And they always called me sir.
Cool.
That means they are scared of you.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, I think it's my height. It doesn't
Yes,
help.
no,
And I wear
absolute-
baseball.
They're afraid. They
I
think
wear
you're chasing
baseball
them. They
caps.
just think you're chasing them, even when you're standing still. And I understand that. I sometimes think you're chasing me.
Because you're weird.
Sometimes it looks like you're chasing me down the hall.
All right. So anyway, Omicron's definitely coming. We'll see how bad it gets. Go get your damn booster.
Get the booster.
It is spread. Omicron is spreading at a rate we've never before seen. Even if it's very mild, it's going to fill the hospitals.
I saw
And
Moderna's
that's
the
gonna
same
be
as
pro-
Pfizer. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the only thing that helps is the booster.
Yeah.
If you have the Moderna, get your fucking booster. Even if you're not up for
Absolutely.
it, just do it.
Anyway,
That'll
the
be
last
good.
thing we need to do is overwhelm the health systems yet again.
The incredibly fragile health system.
Yep. Well, yeah. I mean, it's, well, best medicine in the world. Oh, wait.
Do not be like the 103 buddy fucker Marines thrown out for refusing to get their shot.
Oh God.
Right.
Good job.
They can join
Marines.
John
Kick
Kelly
them
in the
out.
corner of kids who we need to figure out a way to take a title away.
The Army has 3,800.
Yeah,
who
the
have
Army's bigger, though.
No, the Army has 3,800 who have refused the order to get the vaccination and are being processed for removal
No, fuck
from the
'em.
Army.
This makes the riffing easy. This
Yeah.
part will be no problem.
No, because again,
So I take it back. I'm sorry.
Well,
that...
and best of all, you're getting rid of some very mentally rigid people
Right.
that you probably didn't need anyway.
or
based
what,
on
yeah.
what we use U.S. forces for nowadays. If you're going to be armed like Humrat distribution, you need some flexibility.
Yes.
But you also need some character, which I, again, don't think comes from that rigidity. Right? The character being I'm not going to do this gross, horrible thing.
Yeah.
Because, anyway, I don't
Okay.
have to force people
So,
to do gross, horrible things.
let's
with
talk
me.
about tell me about this Haiti missionaries.
Yes.
It's our
Oh, yeah.
conclusion for the Hades missionaries.
So finally, I guess they were grabbed about 2 months ago. Everybody thought they were going to be frontline news, like Tail Run, Day 454. And nope, not so much. But they
Notice
have,
the difference between striking at federal facilities and not.
yeah. So notice they have all now been released. We don't know whether any ransom was paid, but they've all been released.
Oh, good.
And so,
Good to be safe,
Yeah.
missionaries. Don't go back to Haiti. So that's wonderful. Are we ready to move forward? I have a quick story for us.
What do you have?
sure.
Dave Ramsey,
Oh.
idiot,
No.
radio broadcaster, and anti-crusader, allegedly fired an employee because he wore masks and wanted to protect himself during the pandemic. The former employee, Brad Amos, claims people wearing masks at meetings were harassed by Ramsey and told to pray harder. Because we all know that praying saves you from
COVID.
science.
Yeah.
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 So Ramsey is an evangelist who Amos asserts ran a cult-like environment and accused employees fearful of the pandemic of being weak of spirit. The lawsuit states Ramsey's company terminated plaintiff, this is in quotes, terminated plaintiff for taking scientifically prescribed precautions as required by his sincerely held religious beliefs in the COVID pandemic rather than relying on prayer alone to protect himself. Since when is science a god?
I think if you're going to be that,
belief
I think if you're going to be that,
religiously held?
Well, if it is,
damn
it's
it.
protected.
God, it's just annoying
Explicitly
that we
protected.
have to word it this way. This is ridiculous, people. There's a difference between religion, science, facts, fantasy. Not saying religion doesn't have its place in the.
but it goes up on the
for
shelf with the
person.
shit the Romans believed in and the fucking Kraken the Greeks were afraid of.
Unless you believe that the stars are going to fall down from the sky and destroy the world.
You can believe that too. Those kids don't get special treatment.
My point is
Adults
that
with imaginary
the fact
friends
that he
riding the
has
back
to
of the bus.
proclaim that this is a sincerely held religious belief rather than it's science, it's fact. So this is why I believe it. God damn it.
No, but I love the framing.
I think evangelicals
Put
that
it in a-
believe that
put
have
it
given
in a
up their
way-
Second Amendment right.
Put it in a way that the evangelical dirtbag is going to have trouble defending.
They won't.
No,
We'll see.
because he can't prove.
Because
a
when
lot
we-
of this is just stuff that he's saying, right? I don't know if there's any hard evidence to prove any of
To
this
prove what?
unless anything that he's saying.
Who
Brad
said?
Amos,
Harassments.
Yes.
the guy who's filing the lawsuit.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is any proof.
We'll
The
find
article
out.
didn't mention any emails or anything of the
We'll see.
such to back him up. Unless he gets more people who are willing to say,
Which he
"Oh
may
yeah,
well
the
have.
same thing happened to me," and even still,
We'll see.
Most likely it's an employment at will state, so we'll see.
yeah.
God, fuck, it just makes blood shoot out of
Unless
my
he's
eyes.
got voice recordings.
I'm
or
sure Tucker
something.
Carlson has it right. I'm sure that having COVID feminizes men. So
Makes me want to fucking yank my eye out of my skull and throw it at somebody and then stomp on it.
So now for something more upbeat. We have been having a lot of fun recently. So tonight, my new name for this segment is Illuminations with Risen.
okay, yeah, that's probably better.
Do you like that?
Yeah, you're getting
We should
close.
set in the little noise of like a light getting turned, that ting 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 noise that lights used to make when they
Oh.
start to turn on.
When
I
they
like
turn on?
that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I hadn't
The
thought of-
Bling,
fluorescence.
bling, bling. Yeah,
Well, either that or like an old Edison
Yeah.
bulb where it goes doom.
yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I'm not
or a
sure.
neon light where
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
Any
so
of the
we've been doing
illuminating noises.
Teen Vogue questions kind of for funsies, but we've actually been pretty impressed with how these with what these questions are. And
Yeah, we shall see. Rock and roll.
just a second, my goodness, this is Interruptus McRexus.
Okay.
Rexus interrupted.
No, you're
There we go. Let me finish a thought, dude. Okay, so
I think that actually works out to be something different.
whatever. Got me going there. Okay. So I just wanted to quickly read the opening for these questions because it's interesting. So it's called 151 Fun Questions to Ask Your Friends from Your BFF to New Pals. Question for friends to go deeper and get
Gross.
sillier. It's written by Christy Kellogg. So it says, think you know everything about your BFFs? Question mark. Being a friend means finding new ways to invest in your bestie. Knowing what questions to ask friends can expand your understanding of what makes them tick. From experiences that have shaped them to their hopes for the future is a great way to do that. We've rounded up the best questions ranging from silly to serious that are sure to bring out all the feels and spark a stronger bond between you. But of course, your BFF didn't become your ride or die overnight. Knowing what kinds of questions to ask your friend group at large, including new friends, will help you cultivate closeness with everyone in your circle. That's why we've also included questions for your friends and questions to ask to get to know someone so you can deepen your bond with your pals who aren't your BFF. yet. So grab your bestie for best friend questions video date, or pull up this list of 151 good questions. The next time you're hanging with your group, you'll be surprised by how much there is to learn about people, no matter how far into your friendship you are.
What's this person's name?
Oh, God.
Christy Kellogg.
Barnabas, add them to the time travel fix-it list.
Why? What's wrong? I thought it was
I thought it was great. I was just over it because there were going to be questions, and I liked that part more.
Okay. No, but part of the reason why I wanted to read it is because
These have been surprisingly good
They have
questions.
been.
Yeah.
These are better questions than I've seen primetime interviewers ask.
Just so you guys understand, this is our Teen Vogue edition part 3.
Yeah.
So we're really digging
There
into
aren't
these
many
questions.
things we need to take 3 bites of. Or is that 9 bites with the 3 of anyway?
Who knows?
Either way, I didn't think anything else would have survived this long.
So here's the list of
And I
questions.
always assumed that what made me tick was some sort of neurological problem. But anyway.
So here's the list of questions I put
potassium.
together for us tonight. And feel free to answer these questions yourself when you comment, like, and subscribe. So you can write the question you're responding to and put it in there. It'll be fun. If you want, you can private message us on Facebook, and I can read it out loud next episode. So
Think of it as a homework assignment.
yeah, it'll be
Just
fun.
send me an old lunchbox full of $100 bills.
Okay, so question. What do you think the best way to resolve conflict is?
Headbutting, early and often.
That didn't work for you so
First
well.
thought from the back of my mind was
Never works for me.
some sharp implement.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys go straight for the
Straight to the
violence.
violence, I know.
All right, so my response is honesty.
Well,
Honesty
yeah, but
is the best way to resolve
when you wave
any
the gun around,
conflict.
you're being honest.
No,
They can see it.
no, don't.
No, the biggest
Don't wave
problem.
the gun around the internet. Sorry, I should have been much faster on that.
Read the question again so I can use the same words.
What do you think the best way to resolve conflict
Okay.
is?
Yeah, I don't see interpersonal.
The part that we don't know, the
disagreements
part that
conflict.
we always skip, which is the only thing that helps, is the process of getting it out on the table.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's clear that
honesty.
we
Thank you.
disagree,
Yeah.
right?
No, and
Tell me
restate
why
what they
you feel
said
the way
as
you
what
do
you
about
heard,
this and so forth.
yeah,
And let me rephrase this and
yeah.
yeah. But the absolutely critical part is understanding why the normally intelligent person sitting across from you believes this completely idiotic thing.
Yep.
How
For
do
the
you
most-
know it's idiotic? You're already assuming.
A flat tax nationally. There's some things that you just look at and go, that's not a good
Okay,
idea.
but we didn't specify the.
No, yes, but I don't have conflicts about. People don't have vague enough interactions with me that they have some, I don't think you were supportive. Like, no, that sounds like swearing, spitting, and throwing the phone at you. Like, no, the only conflicts I have are over policy and clearly defined issues.
Yeah.
If people want to come to me and talk about their problems and how they don't think things, that's a whole different thing. But that's not a conflict. That's
And I'll try hard to stay awake through their conversation.
Wow,
No,
you two are just so supportive.
no, for me, it really genuinely is the word conflict. That's one of the, it's like how my people don't see the word aggressive as a personal description, right? They're bright and aggressive is not a positive and a negative trait sandwiched together, right? Aggressive is a good thing.
Yeah.
Aggressive gets shit done. But that means on the effective side of the road more often than not. Like, you don't get rewards if it turns out you can just threaten everyone to behaving.
So perhaps we should be saying bright and effective.
Yeah, probably. But
Okay.
nah,
Effectively aggressive?
you're not going to get two.
Aggressively
That's-
effective.
When you get to the fourth word, nobody's going to hear it.
Yeah.
So
but
what's next?
What's your favorite thing and why?
Barnabas?
My family.
All right,
Do
can
I
we,
have
can
a
we be more
favorite thing?
specific and say like maybe an object or something? It just says thing, so I'm thinking an object, right? Like a table or
Barnabas is a thing. You can knock on him.
Wouldn't
But it's
suggest
alive.
doing it too hard.
He's counted as personal property.
God, I hope nobody from PETA listens to this.
Oh, I fucking hope you do. Come here and get turned into chili nitwit. Goddamn, I would eat a vegan.
Oh, PETA's the worst. For those of you who like PETA, I totally understand. You believe that they are up to good things. I'm gonna tell you right now, it gets real dark real quick if
Yeah.
you look too fucking deep too fucking quick. So just
Just be aware.
Well, that's the fucked up thing is I normally support animal extremism.
support ASPCA. Leave PETA alone.
Like, I'm perfectly down. Like, I want to give that. Who's the guy that co-founded Greenpeace and is now off doing whale wars?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I want to give that guy harpoon missiles. Like, oh no, we don't know what happened to that boat.
Yeah, just disappear.
Do you have any radar images of it? No. Oh well, if
That's
the ship thinks in the
that's
ocean, did it make
sad.
it to the survivors? Make us out. After
keep
you
thinking
machine
of
gun
the-
them.
I keep thinking of the cartoon with where the three nails, right? Except one of them's been hammered flat.
No, but I'm
And
all.
one of them is saying to the other, I don't know what happened.
Ah.
One minute he was there, the next minute he was gone. So
Yeah, no, but I'm also the kid from, is it Deep Runnings? What's the one with the,
silent running.
yeah, with the guy with the last
The
four stuff.
robots.
Yeah. No, if you put me on a spaceship with two other humans with the last trees from Earth, oh, we're not
They
coming
better
back.
leave quietly.
Yeah,
Okay, so we'll say Barnabas is your favorite thing.
Yeah, sure.
Why?
because he's orange. Because I have a problem and I have a cat that inherits another orange cat body, and we're just going to spend eternity together.
Fair.
He's the only thing I know that's alive or has a soul.
Fair. So you say family?
Yeah, but I thought you wanted an object.
You don't have to. He picked
Okay.
Barnabas.
He
so
likes his
family
watch.
counts.
Okay, I'll pick an object.
I like my watch.
Yeah, you like your watch.
Yeah, okay, that's close to my favorite thing.
Yeah.
The
Right.
one with all the turquoise on it, the real
Yeah.
pretty one. I
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
too.
The one that my father wore for 40 years. Yeah,
Oh.
that
That
one.
I have to wear when he dies.
No, that's wonderful.
I know.
I like that.
So, anyway,
I'll make sure you don't break it.
Good luck with that.
yeah, it's a good
I'm
watch.
really hoping it's
It
mostly
might
the
need
bracelet he
cleaning
cares
every
about.
150 years. What?
I said I'm really hoping it's the bracelet you care the most about.
Why?
How many accoutrements have you ever seen me with? Everything I like, I put in the end. That's what I like. I like the end of the world box.
Yeah.
That's where I put all of the things I want to see one last time.
That's funny because I wouldn't have thought of that. I'm going through everything I own going, I don't have a favorite object. There's
No.
not one.
It's either utilitarian or
Yeah, I mean, if there was a fire, what would you grab? I'm going to grab
Humans,
my
yeah.
wallet and the go box.
Yeah.
I
and those aren't favorite objects. Those are just I don't want to
Those are-
snap kick. From
yeah,
zero.
those are the thing I need.
Yeah,
Um,
I can start over with all this.
yeah,
So humans and paperwork.
yeah. But if I were invited to get on a starship,
Yeah,
right, by aliens,
there you go.
I'd probably pick that watch up on the way
Not a bad choice.
to the door, right?
Fair.
And some clean underwear.
Was it fair? I'd have to say my rocks.
Okay.
My rocks are my favorite.
A fine
things.
choice. Yeah.
They make me happy.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. When was okay? So this is again aggressively teen girls. Okay. When was the moment in your life you laughed the hardest?
When I saw that bicyclist in Boston get run into a car door.
That's terrible.
It was the day after a bunch of little cyclists at Harvard had taken the intersection and they were beating drums and being shitty. And I'm going, all right, cancer girl, do not run the shitheads out. Like, because she's like, has to go home and drink 2 bottles of wine right now because she was in the room when they voted. That kid's not going to live.
Yeah.
His parents can't afford what it's going to cost to keep him alive. And he's got ultra cancer and a weird blood type. So
That was the wait. What are we talking about again?
a young lady I was dating at the time was driving, right, I'd gone and picked her up at Boston Hospital.
Right.
And we were driving home, and the kids at the local college came out. We're all banging their shit and being like, "Rawr, cyclist, you have to respect us." And like,
So
not
that's
at all.
why the next day.
The next day when I saw
cyclist
and again, he was
riding
riding exactly wrong. He was doing everything you're not supposed to. Because Boston, for the most part, great city for cyclists, and a city full of great cyclists. Right? Who knew? College students, pretty much shitheads because their brains aren't fully formed yet. So anyway,
Okay, so
I just
that makes
came to my
sense.
brain and I'm like, what did I? I'm like, I actually like a little bit peed.
It's like the fundamental rule
so
of bicycling.
it was-
Do not shoot the curb
Yeah.
on a car with its turn signal on.
So it was funny to you because you guys had been kind of harassed by these kids on
We
buses
had
the
been
day before.
inconvenienced.
Severely
And
inconvenienced during a really awkward time.
no, that was every day for her. No, I am going to lean heavily on who did Spaceballs.
Oh, fucking.
Yeah. His son
Anyway.
wrote the
Mel
zombies-
Brooks.
Yes, Mel Brooks gave the greatest answer on comedy and tragedy. Tragedy is when I stub my toe. Comedy is when you
You
fall
stub
down a
yours.
manhole and die. And yeah,
your
I
guy
think
with
that's
the
a
car-
bit far, but Mel Brooks knows comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Did your guy with the car door walk away?
Oh yeah, no, again, like I saw a motorcyclist have a similar, like his bike got just wrecked, but he was fine, and that was also kind of, you don't often get to see karma in the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, and for you? Or do you need a minute?
Who's left?
I'm just bad at this. Because I laughed the hardest.
They're gonna vote you off Teenage Girl
Oh,
Island.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, when did I laugh the hardest? I can point to several times, but the night that Barack Obama was reelected, and Fox News was frantically trying to explain why it hadn't happened. It was hilarious. So,
That is pretty funny.
As polling disintegrates, that's gonna get harder.
I know.
So for me, like I tend to laugh really hard a lot. Like I find a lot of things in life very funny, but I will say that last night fucking asshole had me practically in tears laughing because of that stupid thing you said at the end of the episode that I had to cut out. So you guys gotta hear this shit now that we can explain it fully because I didn't want to leave it at the end.
So I had found an image of a Zeppelin with a pirate with a skull and bones on it.
Because last night we were talking about the Zeppelin and stuff.
Right, and that you could, what images could you have on your Zeppelin?
And that got me to thinking about it, and I'm not actually sure. I wasn't actually sure if you could fly, right? If you fly a
the
skull and
dollar.
bones, you may actually be declaring yourself a pirate.
Yeah.
And that may not mean heave to and prepare to be boarded, just we shoot you full of holes and drive off.
Yeah.
Turns out, no, it's not true. And hey, isn't that bitchin'? There's no rule against flying the skull and bones.
All right.
Because apparently, originally pirate flags were red. That skull and bones was either in the log to designate pirates
So anyway,
or to designate sickness on the ship.
the way his brain, in finding
We had been
this
talking
out-
about using yacht to ferry women to seek reproductive rights in more liberal states.
Yeah, we were talking about how we were going to spirit women away so that they could go get reproductive health issues taken care of and that we would pay for it fully. So in the midst, at the end of this discussion,
Thinking, oh hey, isn't that bitchin'? We can fly a pirate ship or paint one on the side of the thing.
and it comes out of his mouth.
As
Oh hey, that's cool. We can fly with a thing full of bitches that we know put out.
That's what he said. And I knew what he meant. And he died.
that's a
Laughing.
Part of that comes from Jason and I.
It got better because he's trying to explain it to me, even though I knew what he meant. And he's trying to explain, no, it's because I got the bitching word from this, and then we've
Yes.
been talking about this other thing. And
Yeah.
he's like, my brain, I was looking for something to say because he often, as you who's stuck
No, but
with our
some comedy
podcast,
troupe
as
did
you
that.
all who have stuck with our podcast know, he tries to put in a funny thing at the end. So the funny thing came out, bitches that put out on the blip, and oh my god, it was hysterical. And he's talking it through, and the more he's
a
talking,
moment
the
of
harder
seeing
I'm
his true
laughing.
character. No, but
Oh, absolutely.
no, some national comedy troupe did that.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing. Why do you hang out?
Nah, why do you pick
Yeah.
up women at the abortion clinic?
Right.
You know they put out.
Yeah.
You know them bitches put out. So, I will also point out, in my defense, Risen and I come from the most sexually active generation of Americans ever spawned, ever.
Oh yeah, you don't even
Period.
want to know how many
Fucking
sexual partners
dot.
I've had. It's not pretty.
Our generation makes the hippies look prudish.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that at the height of the AIDS epidemic. And it was epidemic only globally, and
Yeah.
there's an accounting game. AIDS is really the only problem in, well, Alabama at this point.
But anyway, we cut it out at the end of the last episode because I didn't want people to hear it and get offended without hearing the story and how
And now
it
they
all
can be
fell
truly
together.
offended.
Yeah,
but
now
yeah,
you
got
know.
it.
Now you're at least accurately offended.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe to be accurately offended more often.
Yeah, the comments mostly.
Yeah.
What's next?
What's your favorite commercial?
Best part of waking up is
I like that homeless one.
Folgers in your cup.
You probably haven't seen this man. That's
Mhm.
because your government taught him to be invisible.
Oh,
that wasn't bad.
Yeah. No, that is as close as I've ever seen to he's not heavy, he's my brother.
Yeah.
But it was like during the course of this ad, they're also explaining a bunch of homeless facts. Like homeless veterans routinely freeze because they leave to make sure there's more room. Because they know the old trick that if you just walk around all night, it's fine. You won't freeze to death. And it gets cold enough that doesn't matter. And you just, no, I'm just going to sit down for a second.
And they don't get
And yeah. So.
Oh, that's sad.
All right.
I have
do
to say
remember that commercial.
that the one commercial that makes me giggle like excessively every time I see it is the no, not in my house. I don't know why, but I just that is awesome. And it might be because I used to play basketball as a kid, and so I was all about that. And
Kind of weird commercial do you think she was talking about?
I've only seen it on YouTube. It was in the UK for seatbelts.
Oh. Yeah, there's some British, like, okay, is it one of the bad ones to, like, they shoot a kid through a windshield or something? Because I'm thinking of the Canadian safety one where she's talking about, oh, this weekend I'm going to get married and blah, 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 and she picks up a thing of boiling water and slips on the oil. It's a kitchen sink. I just watched Risen's whole face, like her whole ass head change shape.
I've worked in kitchens, oil,
I know.
hot water.
But the whole thing is
steam.
this.
It's not.
Yeah,
fun
it's
to be
this
fucked with.
pretty young lady explaining how everything's great and it's fine and it's okay because somebody's gonna like pick it up in just a second and don't worry about it and like then and then yeah. So
No, I had a friend who got like first-degree burns down her front from spilling boiling pot.
She
one
was
of those
damn
big
lucky
pots.
they were first-degree burns.
yeah, no, that's
Well, what's the bad one? I think
third.
Okay, so then they were she went to the hospital. They were third degree.
Yeah.
They were probably second-degree burns, the blisters.
Do you have nerve damage?
She had third-degree burns, and yes, she did have nerve
There
damage.
you go.
Okay.
Then yeah.
And it could have been much worse, but we had her take her, shirt off and stuff. Like we
Throw ice water on them.
Yeah, we had her out in the thing. We were spraying her down. I mean, it's scary. You can really hurt yourself. You can wreck your face.
No, one of my partners in crime when I was young had the McDonald's coffee experience. The top was not on the coffee properly.
Oh, I
and
was
so it collapsed
deceptively
and the
careful
entire
about
cup
that.
went in his lap,
Oh.
handed right out of the window. It had just been filled.
Yep.
And
That's
so
not good.
he jumps out of the car, literally strips, right? And I handed him my Coke, and he used it to cool himself down.
Yeah.
Remember that time that we were so Asshole and I got those big, those big bowls of ramen.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're the extra large ones, and we didn't know at the time, but we found out later that these were an issue. So he had heated it up for me, and he'd given it to me, and it was in my lap, and I had it slipped out of my hands because the cardboard's flimsy.
Yes.
And it's very full.
Yeah.
And it splashed on me. And I just remember him just grabbing me, like pulling my
Ripping
clothes off,
yeah.
throwing me into the shower and forcing me to stay in there while it was
In the
freezing
cold water.
cold. And this was wintertime here at night.
Yep.
It was terrible. And
It
I'm just
also worked.
crying because it was so cold. And I stayed there.
Yeah.
I did. I stayed there,
and
but
it
it was
worked.
terrible.
And it
Ugh.
worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I didn't, as you can see, I have no
No,
burns.
I have
all over me.
aggressive aversion to getting burned by hot water.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
You've
I've
had
experienced with it.
Well, and you particularly, don't want my boobs to be burned. So
Yeah,
you had some personal stakes in
yeah.
this.
Oh.
Um,
Anyway, so the British commercial.
Yes.
The guy is sitting in a chair, pretend driving, and his wife and daughter are sitting on a couch, and suddenly you see him realize there's going to be an accident, and his wife and daughter jump off the couch and throw their arms around him like seatbelts, and then there's glass everywhere. It's an incredibly good commercial.
You made me cry.
Yeah. You've never seen that?
No.
I'll find it for you.
I watch a lot of British cartoons.
Yeah.
No, because otherwise it's going to have to be that Rainbow Six commercial.
I don't know who they were.
Yep. But 3 seconds after they came in the room, the only people left alive were my family and them. Which is Rainbow Six.
McDonald's
big,
did one many years
counter-terror
ago of a soldier who's clearly ETS.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good one.
And coming home. And he gets off the bus and looks around. There's nobody there for him. And so he's carrying his duffel bag home. And there's nobody. And, and he hits the bottom step. And the first thing out the door is his dog. So his dog tackles him and his whole family comes running out. It was perfect.
Aw, yeah. No, those are always good and heartwarming.
Yep.
If you were the president, what's the first thing you would work to change in this country?
Minimum wage.
Healthcare.
I think we can put that together as a package. I want America to work for Americans.
Yeah.
And that's the only measure of a country's success.
I'd even steal
Are
the
we
phrase
looking
contract with
after all of
America.
are we looking after all of our citizens? And if the answer is no, then you've got a brewing problem. And we've been fucking it up long enough. It's a big fucking problem.
Yeah.
So,
No,
I'm
but
not sure which side I root for in that.
this is pretty deep for Teen Vogue.
Yeah, no,
Remember, these are Teen Vogue questions.
Well done, Teen Vogue.
Yeah.
yeah.
So next, what foreign language or languages would you want to master and why?
Italian.
Japanese, Mandarin, Spanish.
I guess pick more than
Well, you're in the
one.
right place to do Spanish.
The problem for me with learning a language is if I don't have someone that will actively speak it with me,
Yeah.
I will never pick it up, no matter how much I do. I need someone to learn a language with me so that I can continually use it. Otherwise, my brain will just kind of slowly rot
you
it
need
away.
a native speaker to talk to correct
Yeah.
you. And
Not necessarily. I'm actually really good with something like Duolingo. I'm really good at picking up accents. When I used to work at McDonald's in the drive-thru, I had a lady who would come and as I pick up a few Spanish words here and there, and she would always be impressed with, wow, you don't even have an accent when you speak. That's really good. So I don't need that. I literally just need somebody to speak with me that language.
let's see,
I
we
need to
had
learn
French
about
and
it.
Italian covered, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to regain my fluency in German. So
That'd be interesting.
what
I'm not
else
sure
would
I'd
I
We
be
like
got
good
to
the
with
do?
that.
language saves for it if you want
So while he's thinking, so for reasons why, Spanish because super fucking useful here in America, Mandarin because super fucking useful around the world, Japanese because, as you all know, I'm a fucking anime nerd. So
You're a weeb. It's cool.
well, and I already know, it's funny because I was watching an anime that was actually Chinese, and it
that
was
was
messing.
interesting.
It was messing with me because I'm used to watching Japanese, and I'll be
There's
able
a
to.
difference in flow that even I noticed.
You're right, and I'll be able to pick up like I know words, right? I know Japanese words and phrases and such. So when I'm reading subtitles, I can say, "Oh, that's not what they said. This is what they said." Yeah. So I've got a good flow going in my head. So watching the Chinese subtitled anime was just. It took me a while to get used to it. I mean, it's a good anime, but it was really the way it fits is different.
Yeah.
So even the subtitles, it was kind of confusing and hard to follow at first, because I understand, Japanese, with the amount of animes I've watched, I understand a lot of the flow of the conversation and how to relate it to what I know in English.
Yeah.
I can't do that with the Chinese. So it was just like watching something in Korean, right? Like just got nothing.
Well, yeah. The societal effects and tropes you're talking about are so different.
Exactly.
And I don't agree with the kid who said you need to understand the Korean concept of Han to understand the Squid Games.
No,
I've seen it.
Games. It wasn't a detailed enough concept that it was hard to wrap.
No, this is like trying to explain something about the rules from Southie to someone who's never been to Southie. Yes, it would give you a broader, more internal understanding of why he felt so ashamed he was willing to do this horrible thing. But Americans invented reality television, so the problem wasn't really that they were doing this crazy thing. They killed a lot of people in that first game. That seems kind of not good reality television.
Right. Well,
Actually killed them?
No, no, we're not having that again.
No.
Okay. No,
That was the best. Oh
God damn it, the internet.
For those of you who missed it, I'll have to go back and figure out which episode we talked about Squid Games.
But that's what happened when I was telling her about it. Because finally I broke down because I had read all of the news and seen all the things. And I'm like, oh, what's this? Most popular TV thing on Netflix, Squid Games. Let me see a trailer. Okay, I gotta watch this now.
Yeah.
So I watch it, and then I tell Risen, and the same thing.
About all the people they kill.
Yeah, they really killed him. Yeah, no, they really did.
I'm sitting here
Because you're watching this, and those are
Korean
machine-controlled 50 cals. They're turbo dead.
Oh my god!
When the limbs come off, they're not okay.
Oh god, it was crazy. Anyway, one more question, and then we'll call it a night. I have a whole nother page of questions, but we will save them for tomorrow night.
Tomorrow, cool. What's up?
What's your survival plan during a zombie apocalypse? I'm sorry, we had to have this discussion. We've talked about it previously, but this had to happen. Now, me and my friends back in the day used to war game out the zombie apocalypse all the time, just for funsies. So why don't you start us off, Mr. Boomer Rex?
Well, we're in a decent place to go to ground here or very nearby. We're away from population centers, etc.
And don't we have one of those underground war bunkers nearby too?
Oh, the Titan silo?
Yeah. It's abandoned, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure you can get into it, but
Not sure.
I'm sure we could find a way into
Anyways.
it.
Yes, it is there. In fact, there are two. There's one to the east of us and one to the west of us. So, because we had a Titan wing here. One of them, well, anyway. The biggest problem here is going to be water. So you have to be prepared to move before you run out of water.
Yeah.
So, and you have to go someplace where there is water.
So
I wonder where the nearest island is. Well, we can hypothesize zombies that can swim. By the way, we're doing slow zombies. We're doing none of
no,
this fast
fuck
zombies.
fast zombie. No,
That's
the
some
first
bullshit.
thing you hope if the zombie apocalypse ever happens is that they are slow zombies. Fast zombies, we're all fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it.
Well,
Slow zombies.
have fun, gym rats, for your last 4 days, but...
Right.
Yeah. No, they're going to get caught from behind and eaten.
Oh, yeah, no, exactly.
Um,
No, slow zombies is a fucking, environmental concern. It's little different than, say, aggressive lava. Right?
Yeah.
The point is, a problem that you can't solve through violence and is relentless. Right? So, flood water would largely...
little like climate change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually probably why my generation is so into it, come to think of it. Because all the other stuff where they're like, it's about consumerism, like that.
You get all the same stuff from a giant solar flare that just turns off the electricity everywhere forever.
No, I've read interesting variants with cannibalistic, it was jam, but a flood of just a liquid that eats humans.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Drowns humans.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be fun to have a discussion sometime about the molasses
Yep.
flood in Boston.
I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah. We should definitely talk about that, apparently.
Oh,
There's a thing
there
I
was a
don't know.
molasses factory that. Oh, you know what? We'll talk about that sometime.
Okay.
I will look up. I will look that up because that's fun. That is
The
actually
Great
just fun.
Molasses Flood of 1871.
Something like that.
Like,
Yeah.
comment, subscribe for 1870s news.
Yeah.
No, that does sound awesome, though.
No,
No, what is-
it's interesting.
what
I
is-
mean, it's not awesome. I think people died, but like,
Yeah.
Oh.
but amusing in the sense of, could you imagine just molasses flowing through the streets? Like, oh my god.
No, my answer is the current usual, right? A large store distribution center.
Yeah.
Right. By preference, Walmart, but really almost any of them will do.
Yeah.
Because your local McDonald's or local Walmart and grocery store are going to run out of food in about a week.
Yeah.
So unless you're going to roll up on it and bolt it, like lock
What
it
what
down.
you really want to do is you want to post up and watch who's going to the distribution centers.
Yeah.
You want to keep track of them. You want to follow them,
Yeah.
know where they're at. You want to know what kind of protection they have at their place, and you want to hit them each individually because you're never going to get into the fray because
Yeah.
somebody's going to take that over.
Yeah, they work there. They
And-
know that
yeah.
trick.
So,
But no, I agree with Boomer's point about the water for the Southwest is going to be a major problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that depends on electricity is going to be a big deal. So.
I mean, luckily we've got enough solar around us that,
We could run a well.
yeah.
Yep. Actually, run his well. So.
You sure?
but yeah, so wow, I was really assuming that was going to be a bit more energetic.
Oh.
So
I mean, I'd recommend heavy clothing. I'm not sure. Like, I've seen recently there's been a big turn into firefighter bunker gear as bite resistant, which, all right. I mean, there's a lot more of it just available on the ground.
Yeah.
So, okay, I can kind of,
Yeah.
but other than that, there hasn't been much change in zombie tech since the 80s.
fair. All right. Well, this has been fun. It a bit of a longer episode than usual, but we have more Teen Vogue questions. We'll do that maybe tomorrow. And I don't know. Soon I'll do that molasses thing because
Okay.
that's definitely an interesting piece of history that if you don't know, I feel like you should. So anyway, we love y'all. It's been another awesome night. We went on a bunch of tangents tonight, which I think were super fun.
Good night, the internet.
So have a wonderful night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow on Boomer Rex Tonight.
I want a
Good night.
44 carbine for the end.